Well, it's that time of the week again, end of the week, and there is so much going on in the world of arts and entertainment all around. Next couple of weeks, next couple of months, even so much going on, and we're going to break it down. To join me to do that is Gus Gordon. How are you, Gus?
Kevin, that sounds like a lot of work,
It
months of
is.
information to break down. I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm all right. It's end of the week, I'm getting there.
Yeah,
Um,
it's warmer. No
it's whoa.
snowstorm yesterday.
Yeah, no, I was talking with Mark Gifford yesterday about that because it was like every time we get to Thursday or Friday or whatever, it's like, well, here comes the ice. Hope you salt your roads and everything. But no, it's supposed to be like 70 this weekend.
Well, we're in March now, so that makes a huge difference.
Yes, it does.
Although
It
we've
does.
had some pretty big snowstorms in March, but that's just
Yeah,
that's not
that's
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 not
the
right.
that's living in Central Illinois for you.
Yeah, wait five
No way
minutes.
around it. Exactly. So, but there's a lot going on, and just immediately in your building, a lot going on. Muni auditions are this weekend, and people are going to be coming and going, and all sorts of things.
March Muni Madness, they call it.
Yep.
Not to be confused with that other March Madness.
Yeah.
But the building will be a beehive of activity all weekend long. The staff is getting every room set up for Muni auditions. And we're excited because it's always a great time. And we always have hundreds of people in here getting ready for the Muni season. And what a great season it's going to be with SpongeBob the Musical, followed by Ragtime, then Newsies, and then the season will end up with Matilda the Musical. So, four great shows, three of them new to the Muni this year, and all the parts are open, and we'll have a lot of newcomers auditioning for the very first time. So there's a lot of excitement about all of that.
It's always so exciting when all the newcomers coming in. People say, "Well, I don't know about auditioning. I've never done it before." Well, do it because it's a
Right.
lot of fun. It's and if you aren't super familiar with the shows, like I'm gonna be honest, as much I have cast albums behind me, I love musicals. I was just telling you before we started recording that I am not super familiar with some of these shows.
Right.
So sing something you're comfortable with, a song a show tune even a song you just know and you can sing it really well. You know it really well. Just get the music for it, give it to the piano player, and just go ahead and show them what you got and have fun.
Right. You don't have to do something that you're not familiar with from one of the four shows.
Right.
Do something that you feel shows you off to your best ability, that you're the most comfortable with, to take the pressure down and just go and have fun.
Yes.
You know, it's easier in many ways for a new person to audition than someone who's been doing it for several years, because for someone who's been doing it for several years, everyone knows your shtick. Everyone knows what you do. And so it's not a big surprise. So every year there's always a newcomer that comes in and blows everyone away.
Yeah.
And that's always exciting to get people talking. Oh my gosh, did you hear about this person? They came out of nowhere and they were fantastic. So I hope we see some more examples of that this weekend and next weekend.
I hope we do. It's always so fun to see that. And you're right about picking audition songs because I went through like 5 or 6 this week of like I
Oh,
had one and then I changed it and I'm like I don't know what to sing. So yeah, it's
and you know what? Some people go in there and they sing happy birthday.
they
And that's
do.
okay too. They just want to hear the tone of your voice, the quality of your sound, and they can learn that pretty quickly. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen over the years is someone wants to do a big song and they want to end on that big note at the end, and you only have 2 minutes, so you have to pick
Yeah.
something that's less than 2 minutes long. Don't pick something that's not really in your range, that maybe is too low for you at the beginning of the song, that ends perfectly. Start with the part that shows you off.
Oh yeah.
So if there's a part of the song that might be too low that you're going to sing, pick the section that really shows you off to your best ability. Because here's a little known fact that most people don't believe, but as a director, music director, choreography, you know about a person very fast.
Yeah.
You can tell if they have a decent voice very quickly. And so you don't need to sing sometimes a whole song. Frequently, especially when they're crowded, and I don't know what the situation is this weekend, but when they are packed with people, they will cut you off early if they've heard enough. That doesn't mean you weren't good. that just means that they were able to tell in the first 30 seconds, hey, this person is really good. I want to hear them again. And they'd be great in this part, but they don't have to hear you sing the full 2 minutes of music.
That's
Um,
important.
yeah, it really is, because it can do a mind game on you if you're not confident and you don't know how it's done. But really, I used to say that when I was in broadcasting, and we'd look at new tapes of potential hires for anchor or weather or whatever sports, and you knew within the first 10 seconds if that person had it or not. You just really, and it's you need a little bit more obviously with the musical audition, because you got to hear this voice and everything. But another important tip for auditioners is your audition starts the moment you come in the building and you sign up.
That is 100%. Oh my God, yeah.
As if you come in and you're frazzled or you're not terribly nice to people because you're nervous, people know that. People,
Yeah.
they get that vibe. So just go in there, be nice to everybody, be pleasant. So many times when casting is shown, the person who is pleasant and easy to get along with and fun to be around, that's a person you want in your cast, as opposed to the most talented person in the world who might be a little difficult.
Yeah.
And that's just my perspective. That I'm not speaking in any official capacity. I want to make that clear.
No,
But
but I agree with you.
when you walk in the room and you walk into the audition, how you treat the piano player when you give them your music, if you're barking orders at them, the directors pick up on that, and that's
Yeah.
not a good start. You might be the nicest person in the world and you're just a little nervous. So just treat everyone as if you would want to be as you would want to be treated,
Exactly.
and be know you're in good hands. They have very good piano players, and they say this every year, and it's true. The staffs want you to do well.
They do.
They want to find the next SpongeBob, or the next Miss Trunchbull in Matilda, or the next Coalhouse Walker Jr. They want you to succeed.
They are your biggest cheerleaders in that room. They
Right.
are.
Right.
So,
It's hard to believe that sometimes, but again, they want a good cast. They want pleasant people to work with. So that is a part of the equation. It's not just based purely on talent. It's based on your demeanor and how easy you are to get along with and how pleasant you are. That is a big factor, I think, in most audition situations.
oh, I would agree 100%. That's very good to note that, because it is important. I mean, it really is. It's
Maybe the director of Mad Max will put up with that kind of behavior on the set, but at the Muni, they don't.
no.
They don't want you showing up 3 hours late for call and getting into a fight with your leading lady. That's not
No,
cool.
you gotta, yeah, it's a community effort, and it's
Exactly.
we do it for the love of the theater.
Yeah. And
It's
you know what? There are two words in community theater. Theater is a big part of it, but the community is equally as big and equally as important. And the relationships you build. I always tell people, if you want to make friends and you're new to an area, do a show.
yeah,
Because in 8 weeks, you'll have some great new friends that you've gone through a big experience with, and you depend on one another and you enjoy one another. So it's a great way to meet friends, especially if you're new to a community, or if you're just new to this as a hobby and avocation.
yeah, and you might be watching or listening to this saying, this is all good and well, but I can't sing and I can't dance. You don't know that for a fact, but if
Right.
you don't feel comfortable being on stage, the community aspect, I mean, the amount of people that it takes to put on a show is way more than you see on stage. There's
Right.
so many people backstage, under the stage for the orchestra, um, giving out programs, concessions. I mean, there's plenty of ways to be involved in these shows that may
Sure.
not involve exactly being on stage.
And the commitment levels vary. Being cast in a show, you could be in rehearsal and performance for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
If you're on the tech crew or in the orchestra, you might be involved for 2 weeks. And if you work concessions or usher, you are involved for one night,
Yeah.
or as many nights as you want to. So there are different levels of commitment. We're all so busy these days. And if people say, well, gosh, I can't be involved for a full, 10-week period for the rehearsals and the performances and everything. Well, maybe you want to help with costumes or
Yeah.
makeup or moving the sets. You just have to show up Tech Week or the week before Tech Week. So maybe it's a 3-week commitment, but it's still not as long of a, and then if you direct, that's like a full year commitment.
Yeah.
Close to it. A good
Yeah.
8 or 9 month commitment anyway.
Yeah. So lots of opportunities for that, and that is this weekend and next weekend,
Right.
and in a couple
Next
weeks
Saturday, we should probably specify.
next Saturday, because Sunday is callbacks.
Right.
But
So 3 chances to audition, and
yes,
then they go into callbacks, and then they cast on Monday night, which I think is Monday the 14th. Is that correct? The
yes,
calendar. I got to click
I'll
the
tell
button
you
on
yes.
the computer here.
14th, yes.
The 14th, right?
Yep.
And waiting for that call can last
Ooh.
till midnight. It's a brutal night waiting to
That
hear the call that you were cast in one of the 4 shows. It's
yeah.
fun, but it is, you're waiting with bated breath to see if you get
You're
the
sitting
call.
there with your phone like,
yeah,
why hasn't it rung yet?
it must be broken. Something's wrong with it.
You're like, it's 2 in the afternoon. Stop it.
Right. They haven't even met yet.
Yeah. So that's coming up this weekend, and we also have auditions for Theater in the Park coming up, and everything we just talked about very much applies to Theater in the Park. The aspect, the community aspect, auditions, the staff, they all want you to succeed. The differences being that the shows some of them are already cast with some parts. A Little Princess is not. All those roles are open, but the rest of the shows, there's a couple parts open in Company, Babes in Arms, and Inherit the Wind, which are the other shows out at Theater in the Park.
That's not a normal practice, just to explain that for our listeners and viewers. These are shows from 2 years ago, 2020, that had been cast. And the Theater in the Park has allowed the cast to come back to play those roles in those shows. And then those who couldn't participate this year, those are the roles being recast.
Yes.
A Little Princess is a new production, so they're starting from scratch on that. Muni opted to take the 4 shows, 2 of which were planned for 2020 and 2 of which are brand new. They just said, let's level the playing field, and everyone auditioned from scratch. So that just 2 different choices, both equally valid and different ways of doing it. And so, but there are still plenty of opportunities for newcomers who want to get involved locally.
Oh, absolutely. And Theater in the Park is a wonderful stage. I've always said I need to get back there to do a show again, because it's been 8 years now since I was looking at the date. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, it's out in Petersburg, but it's so cool. It's such that, and that whole historic New Salem site is wonderful.
Right.
And so that'll be a lot
of shows out there. It's been several years now, unfortunately, but 1776, we had a great production of that. We did it 2 years in a row because it had proved to be so popular. And then we did 110 in the Shade, which was a musical version of The Rainmaker. And that might be the last time I performed out there. It's been a while. But again, great performances. It's a beautiful setting.
Yeah.
And it's a delightful place to sit and watch a show.
It is. It's if you are in the very back row, you can still clearly see everything going on, every single little aspect of it. I mean, it's wonderful. It's a great place.
It's a great space. It's a great space.
Yeah. So those auditions are coming up as well. The auditions, the children's auditions will be the 26th, and then I believe the weekend before.
For Muni auditions, right? For the kids auditions for
kids auditions. And then I think Theater in the Park is the 19th, I want to say. 18th and 19th.
Okay.
Maybe. Dates might be wrong on that, but it is those weekends.
You can check out their websites, hcfpa.org, and then just Google Theater in the Park, New Salem, and you'll take you right to it. You can get all the information you need.
Yeah.
Themuni.org.
Themuni.org.
Right.
And then theaterinthepark.net. With an RE.
Yes. That's right. I usually just end up Googling, and that usually gets me there.
That's true. That'll do it too. Google's wonderful. So those are the auditions coming up. But we also have a lot of shows coming up tonight. Actually, we have another free concert from Mark Gifford with his First Friday concert
Oh,
series,
good. What's the
which is
concert?
the concert is Mark Gifford's on piano, and then there is a fiddle player by I believe by the name of um, Joe Cath, I believe is his name. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone right now because I will know if I look at it. That is
Okay,
his name, Joe Cath, and he's a fiddle player. Well, violinist, but it's a lot of fiddle music, so that's gonna be a lot of toe tapping fun.
excellent,
Yeah,
excellent.
so
Yeah,
that'll be
Mark
great.
does a great job at the church, and of course, he's a great entertainer himself. Wonderful pianist, organist, and just funny guy. Great speaker, great preacher, multi-talented.
Yeah. Yeah, so and he's been bringing those concerts for a while now, and he still has a couple down the pipeline. So that's going to be a lot of fun to see those. And again, they are completely free. It just go get dinner somewhere, and then it's an hour of music at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. So that's always a fun time. Lots of shows coming up as well. I've been in rehearsals for the Murder Mystery, which is coming along great. That is opens the 18th and then runs those 2 weekends. And then the show's written and directed by Courtney Wick. A hilarious. I've said this every time, but the script is hilarious. She pointed out that, and we've all said our lines, like 100 something times, and the cast still is laughing at each other on stage, and like as we're watching it. So I mean, it's still funny, and I think it's a hoot. Audiences are gonna love it.
That's
Yeah,
a great sign. When the cast is still enjoying it, that happens a lot in rehearsals. People have heard the funny, and they don't laugh anymore. Then you start to question yourself as an actor.
yeah,
It's like, am I doing it right? This is not funny.
yeah.
But then you get an audience and you realize, oh, okay, it was good. But that's a good sign when the cast is still really enjoying themselves.
Oh yeah, no, and we got a great group of people, and a great script. So it's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be great. That is coming up.
Excellent.
Right before that, though, the weekend before, you guys are opening production Pump Boys and Dinettes, which I got to see a little bit of the other night, and I've been hearing it periodically
Right.
as they were rehearsing next to us. Excited to see and hear that. Got a great, talented musicians singing and playing instruments on stage.
Right. That's the conceit of Pump Boys. It's the Pump Boys gas station and the Double Cup Diner right next door. So the Pump Boys and Dinettes. The cast is made up of Albert Capatti and Scott Lecoq, DJ Schultz, Lindsay Rudd, Hope Cherry, Blake Martin, William Richards, and Kayla Prim. And Joe Michael Jackson is directing. We just got the setup and it's looking great. And it's going to be a really fun production, a country western theme to it. The actors are all great, fun people and talented musicians on top of that.
Oh yeah,
It's a very popular show. It's been done here in Springfield and in the central Illinois area, probably about 6 or 7 times over the past 30 years. And it's been,
nice.
gosh, the last production at the Hoagland was 2008. So it's overdue for another
Yep.
performance. And this is a brand new cast of new musicians who are coming into it. I think it's their first time for all of them in this show, and they're bringing fresh energy to it.
Yeah, yeah. You couldn't tell when I heard it last night because they all were like they had it down and they were like,
Good.
you know,
This
so it's
is one
wonderful
of
to
the
hear.
shows we were going to present in 2020,
Yeah,
and we had to postpone and postpone and postpone, and so it's not the same. About half the cast is a holdover from that production, but we did have to recast it because some people had moved out of town or circumstances changed. But this is a great group, and we are so thrilled to have all these very talented performers, singers, dancers, musicians, all in this production.
yeah. Excited to see it. It's gonna be great.
One thing I did
You
want to mention also, Kevin, I forgot to mention this last weekend. We have two kids shows coming up. We're really excited about
yes,
Hoagland Education production. The Hoagland Performing Arts Education Series presents Cinderella the first 2 weekends of May. and that's the newest Broadway version of Cinderella. Dr. Matthew Valla is directing that. And then at the end of May, May 27, 28, 29, Matthew will be presenting Disney's Descendants, and based on the popular Disney Channel movies. And the tickets are selling really well for both of those. So I encourage people, if they have young kids, to come out and enjoy these family-friendly shows. Get your tickets now at hcfta.org. Now, if I spoke slower, that would be hcfta.org as opposed to hcfta.org.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Very good. Well, those
broadcasting experience out the window.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all good. No, that's great. I'm glad you brought those up because I was thinking about those other week maybe. I mean, I've seen sort of them, to and from rehearsals. But yeah, that's great. Two very popular shows. I know that Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella has really gotten a boost in popularity recently, the anniversary of the 90s movie on TV.
Right. With Randy and Whitney Houston and my personal favorite, Bernadette Peters.
Yes. So very.
She's one of my lifelong crushes ever since I saw her in The Jerk and Silent Movie back in the 70s. I thought, wow, she's talented.
She is very much.
Very cute, but that's, neither here nor there.
Yes. So that's and then Descendants, of course, as you said, popular Disney Channel movie series. Wildly popular. So lots of fun. Those shows are going to be fun. And of course, very talented young performers in those.
Yes, indeed. The cast are just really talented young performers. And we look forward to them finally getting a chance to perform again in front of audiences. It's been a while for them, and we're excited about that.
Yes, absolutely. So those are all coming up. STC's Moana Jr. is also coming up as well. That's going to be in April, directed by Cynthia Higginson. And we have the Miscast Cabaret coming up in May on Mother's Day weekend.
And Fiddler on the Roof is also coming up at Sangamon Auditorium.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So that'll be a big production to be seen there. What else is happening locally? You have your nose to the grindstone. You know exactly what's happening. Anything else popping up?
Yeah, there's some things. There's trying to think of it.
Well, we're dealing with Muni Madness right now, so
we are. So there's a lot going on. So there. I mean, there is. I mean, when I say there's a lot going on, there is. I'm sure there's several things that I'm going to think of like 5 minutes from now. Like,
I am sorry I put you on
that one. No, I'm fine. No, listen, we've gone through a lot. There's a lot to cover, and you know what? That's a good problem to have. Glad that there's so much theater coming back. So,
right.
Yes. All right. So all that's going. All that stuff is going on these next couple of weeks. Auditions for the Muni are this weekend and next Saturday, and then of course you have Theater in the Park auditions coming up. So if you've been thinking, I want to get involved with the show, whether it be on stage or off, if you have some time this summer, go ahead and give it a go. I mean, you never know, you might enjoy it.
Exactly.
We certainly do.
Yeah, it's been, one of my favorite parts of being in Springfield.
Yeah.
Great people, great shows, beautiful experience to perform live on stage out under the stars just by Lake Springfield.
Yeah.
Occasionally you'll hear a motorcycle convoy driving down the street next to you, or fireworks will occasionally go off, but that's part of the charm.
I was going to say that adds to the ambiance.
It does.
It's always a wonderful time. Gus, I want to thank you for joining me, talking about auditions, all sorts of shows going on. We'll do this again next time.
All right, Kevin, and break a leg in your audition.
Thank you. Appreciate it.